That's where those dreams quietly die. Not in the failure, but in the comfort. Because let's talk about good enough. Your life changes twice. It's first when you decide you're done suffering. Second, when you decide that you're done settling. A lot of people will wait for this motivation to kick in when life gets hard. But honestly, life and hard time naturally create the motivation. You find in yourself here that the pain that creates movement, instead of just spending your life escaping bad, you understand how the escape of average is everything that's going to get you on the path to greatness. All right, let's go. If you're tired, not feeling fit, tired of something focused, tired of just not having a life that you deserve, this is your place to be. I'm Jason Yarusi. Today, let's talk about good enough. There are two major transformations every person has throughout their life. And the first is when you change bad to good. And the second is when you understand that that good has to become great. But most people, they never find a way to make that second transformation. You know, you spend your whole life, you try to escape the pain, the stress, chaos, the instability, debt, failure, exhaustion, disappointment. And when you finally reach this place where you just feel like life is manageable, you become comfortable and you stop growing. But greatness, it doesn't just live in this survival mode. It lives in this area where you resist comfort. It lives in this decision where you just keep pushing when no longer do you have what it is today. And that's what today's episode is about. You know, your life changes twice. It's first when you decide you're done suffering. Second, when you decide that you're done settling. A lot of people will wait for this motivation to kick in when life gets hard. But honestly, life and hard time naturally create the motivation. You find in yourself here that the pain that creates movement, the real challenges, they come later when things are finally start working. Because when life, it gets good, when, it becomes optional. You think about it, you see plenty of people out there who are just making enough, right? They just have enough in their life. They have the house, they have the wife, the kids, right? Just the comfort, but they neglect the life that they actually want. They have this great family and they're not living life with them, right? They're missing them. Maybe they see them late at night or on weekends, or they get that 1 or 2 vacations a year and they're miserable at their job. But they found that comfort is just so settling. And a lot of it is that, when life gets good, discipline, it just is optional because the standards, you're able to just negotiate them. You say to yourself, well, oh man, it's hard to stop because honestly, I feel like everything is close to just being good and I don't want to have that go away. So I just stay in this land, right? Where it's unhealthy to be exhausted because I feel behind, I feel disconnected, reactive, I feel stressed and frustrated, or it creates that urgency. And when your back's against the wall, you'll do things that normally you wouldn't do. You'll wake up earlier because you have no choice. You'll work harder because you have to do it, right? You'll sacrifice comfort. You'll stay focused. You'll fight for change. But when you're comfortable, you neglect those because you just have enough. And a lot of people, they finally start to build this momentum when the pain forces you to, because maybe your business is failing, maybe your health is falling behind, maybe your marriage is struggling, or maybe you're just tired of looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself anymore. Pain, it becomes this gift when it forces growth, but survival mode, it's in this destination, right? Of understanding that this is not the place I'm going to stay. I have to keep going. I saw this post the other day about someone who's in their mid-40s, just understanding where their life stood today is that, sometimes in our mid-40s, we can look in our 20s and 30s based on just being healthy. Sometimes your mid-40s, people look like they're 60, right? Just based on life decisions. And too many of us are just building our identity based on just making it through. And eventually they hit this point of stability. Think about it. Oh, I'm able to pay my bills. My business is functioning. Oh, my body's kind of healthy and my relationships are okay. And the routines, they're out there. So that feels good, right? And that feels like where the danger begins, because good is a danger when it just removes this urgency. When things are bad, you have to move. When things are good, you can coast. And most people, they coast along because it's the easy thing to do. But if you think about it, that's where those dreams quietly die. Not in the failure, but in the comfort, because comfort, it just doesn't attack you all at once. It just slowly lowers your standards because you stop pushing, you stop refining, you stop demanding more from yourself. The workouts, they become, more inconsistent. The learning, it slows down to really a halt. The standards, they soften the edge, and that piece of you that truly wanted to break out disappears. You deserve to tell yourself, I am not settling. I'm ready to go. But instead, you tell yourself, I need a break. Things are fine. I've already come so far. I've went through all this. Why put myself through any more struggles? Isn't it just good enough? At least this is where I want to be now, today, because think about where I was before, but it's not where you want to go to. And while all of us think that, honestly, life sets you up for failure, well, honestly, can I just be complacent with where I am? Bad situations, right? They force your movement. Greatness, it requires voluntary movement. It requires you. And that's the difference. It's just elite people, they create pressure because life, it just creates pressure that's built upon us to continue to take action. They don't wait for this crisis to improve. They improve because growth becomes part of who you are. You usually see people that get really sick and understand that they have to get healthy, or they get to rock bottom, right, and they have to get rid of, the alcohol or this part. But the hardest transformation is choosing to and doing it now, because nobody is forcing you to. There's no emergency, no disaster, no panic. And now it just comes down to your identity, because it's just good, but it's not great. Will you train when you think that you're just kind of in good enough shape? Will you study when you already are just making just enough? Will you sharpen your mind when there's just seems to be so much wealth that you've discovered through all your schooling, right? Do you invest in your marriage when things are stable? And would you lead forward when nobody's watching? Greatness, it separates ourselves. It's just that difference between average and elite. And it's simply just, it's not about talent. It's honestly, it's about the standards, right? Because if you think about it, elite people, they stay hungry after they've already become comfortable, because they know where they are today. There's no guarantee that they'll be able to stand up there tomorrow. They refuse to just confuse this comfort with purpose, or stability with completion, or just honestly saying that progress is just fulfilling their potential. You have to understand that something that most people miss is that the better life becomes, the more intentional you must be to live your 100. It's not about perfection, just understanding and thinking about how grateful you must be for the life you have, but noting that your true potential is still barely tapped. It's refusing to just be stagnant, where waking up every day, I just have to ask myself, am I settling? Look in your mirror today. Have you settled? Have you settled for just enough? Maybe you've escaped that hard season already. Good. No, but now what? You've gotten through the hard, but that doesn't mean that you can just live to be manageable. It's meant to become meaningful. And the greatness is your refinement to the edge. Doing one more rep, right? When you said you do 10, do 11, making one more call. When you've done the 20, you said you would say, putting in that extra hour to be just committed, right? Present with your family. When you really have a lot that has to get done, that extra level of focus, the extra level of patience, the extra level of discipline, right? To yourself when no one is watching. I had this thing yesterday when my kids, they had a great day. Both of them, my two boys made, travel soccer teams. My daughter's just doing tremendous in dance. My oldest had a couple touchdowns in his flag football game, right? So I said, great, let's celebrate the success. Let's go run around the farm for 2 miles. And they didn't understand that. And I said, you know what? We did great, but let's just do a little bit more. And my son, he runs track, so it was all for him. My little daughter, she had never run 2 miles. So it was an accomplishment for him. And it wasn't easy. And she said, well, the last lap, can we just walk? I said, we can. We absolutely can walk. But if we do, only you and I are going to know that we walk, nobody else. And for us, we ran the rest of the way. So just walking this last lap, does it complete the mission? And so in the 95-degree heat, right, in the hard moment, we ran that last lap. And at the end, she was done, completed, accomplished. It's a small lesson that's going to carry forward in a long way, because maybe right now your health is fine, your business is stable, your marriage, it's okay, your leadership, it's acceptable, and your routine's decent. But deep down, you know that there's another level available. And the truth is, greatness usually isn't hidden behind massive changes. It's hidden by these small standards that you repeat consistently, because instead of just spending your life escaping bad, you understand how the escape of average is everything that's going to get you on the path to greatness. All right, this is what I have for you today. I'm Jason Yarusi, no longer settling for good. Let's be great. Let's do this.